Been watching live a press conference from Governor Brian Kemp and other officials, state officials with GEMA, and they are showing us and telling us how the state is prepared right now for the imminent damage that we're going to be seeing from this Hurricane Helene, which will be a tropical storm once it moves into our area later tonight. The main impacts we are watching for this system, we're already feeling some now from the front that's moving through, but then later tonight, this evening, and then overnight and in the morning, that's going to be the time frame when we are going to be feeling more of those extreme impacts that the governor was just talking about for those overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. We are continuing our live coverage for you throughout the day here on 11 Alive, as well as our newscast today at 4 o'clock, and we'll continue our live streaming on 11 Alive Plus, our 11 Alive app, 11alive.com, and all of our streaming products. We'll take you back to our regularly scheduled program, but if you want more information, go to our 11 Alive streaming apps, and we will be with you here through the duration of this storm.
This has been an 11 Alive News special report. We now return to regular programming.
Team Chesley and Nicole have been keeping you up to date on this rain that's moving through now and the additional rain that'll be moving through as well. Melissa Nord and I are carrying you through the afternoon, evening, and overnight until Chesley and Nicole come back. We'll also be hearing from some of our reporters that are out in the field. The anchors will be here in a bit as well, helping us out with this coverage. And not only this is a weather event, but there are many things going on behind the scenes here within our city and within our state to make sure that we can weather this storm pretty well. We just saw that press conference from Governor Brian Kemp and the officials from GEMA, as well as public safety officials, who were telling us that they're trying to do all they can to keep people safe, but there's nothing we can do to stop this storm from coming, but we can do things to be safe. And the state is trying to do their best to prepare everybody to be ready for this storm as it moves in. Now, you may be saying, I've already had rain. Well, that is not from Helene. This rain that we've been dealing with since yesterday is due to a cold front that's pushing through our area right now, and that is stalling out. So this rain is not going anywhere. And then after landfall tonight of Helene along the Florida coast, and I'm going to show you the entire track coming up in just a little bit, but after landfall tonight, then the storm moves up over land pretty much right over the metro Atlanta area overnight tonight, mainly early tomorrow morning. So if you're thinking you're tired of the rain, this is just the beginning. We're going to have a lot more coming in. We'll also add in the wind component, and those winds are going to be strong. Tropical storm force winds will be in our area as we have a tropical storm warning in effect. And then we're also watching the threat for any severe storms. That would mainly be on the east side of the track. So that's everything that we're going to be breaking down for you throughout the afternoon and evening, overnight as well as we are tracking this storm that is moving through. So here's a look at radar and what we're watching. In Atlanta, you see a lot of green over North Georgia, a lot of green. But watch this into motion, and you can see here the yellows and orange down to the south. We're beginning to see more of an influence coming in from the south. Now, this isn't in the direct rain shield from Helene, but this is kind of an influence of the flow around Helene that's sending up a lot of that tropical moisture into our area. So we have this heavier rain right now that's from Griffin stretching through Henry County and McDonough over toward Newton County, up toward Walton County, Athens, getting in on some of that more moderate to heavy rain right now. And this is pushing up to the north. So this heavier rain is about to move into Atlanta, and we'll just keep seeing waves of rain that will be pushing in. Here's another look now at that heavier rain. And there it stretches from Meriwether County down into Upson County, Pike County, Lamar County, Spalding County. There's Henry County, Butts County, and as we mentioned, up I-20 into parts of Newton County, over into Morgan County, and up into Oconee County, and that's where it stretches up to around the Athens area. So that's that more moderate to heavy rain. And you can see that flow with that southerly influence that's pushing it more up to the north. As far as us here in Atlanta, we have already had impressive rainfall amounts. This does not even, this is before Helene. This is not due to Helene. This is from the front that came through. So you can see the purples and reds there indicating where we have some of that heavier rain that has moved through. Here's a look at some of the totals that we have out there. Let me get the right clicker, and well, I'll just do it here by the controller. Here, you can take a look at some of the totals here. 2 inches in South Gwinnett, 3.5 inches in parts of Henry County, a little more than 3 inches over on the Douglas and Fulton County line, as well as 2.3 inches up in North Fulton, lighter amounts over into parts of West Georgia. But some significant rain has already moved through, and now when we add the tropical moisture in, that is going to be on top of already impressive rainfall amounts. Now, the other thing we're watching, again, you see that flow coming in from the south. We have a tornado watch over in East Georgia, another one in South Georgia. Here is a tornado warning just north of I-16 near the Dublin area. And what happens many times within this system is that we have with the landfalling tropical system, these bands can produce some rotation, and that's why there are a couple of warnings there. Now, these tornado warnings are not in our viewing area, but this is east of Macon, also south and east of Macon, just to the west of Savannah, a few of these bands feeding through where we have some tornado warnings in effect. We're thinking that the severe weather threat and the tornado threat is mainly going to be to the east of Atlanta. Now, maybe some counties in our eastern viewing area may be a part of that, some of those bands that could have some rotation with it, but we're going to be watching that very, very closely. But you'll notice this tornado warning is outside of the tornado watch. So just know, even though the tornado watch isn't in that area, there's still the potential for some of that rotation. Another tornado watch down to the south in South Georgia and into the parts of the panhandle of Florida. Another tornado warning there north and east of Panama City. There's more of those bands. Another tornado watch there on the Florida Peninsula. Here is Helene right now. This is the system moving pretty quickly now through the Gulf of Mexico, also getting stronger. The trajectory still looks like it's going to take it up to the Big Bend region here. But I want you to know, don't focus just on the center of that circulation, as this is a very large storm, and especially on that right-hand side. So even though the Florida Peninsula here is not going to be hit by the eye of the storm, it is going to be hit by everything on the right side, which will be very heavy rain, strong winds, a storm risk. They're also going to see a lot of storm surge there along the coast on the entire western peninsula of Florida. So this is a very impactful storm that is impacting a lot of people. Here's a closer look at it, and there's that center of circulation again moving up toward the north here. Even some of those bands going up into Panama City, even though Panama City is going to be on the quieter side of the storm. Here is a live look at what we're watching right now. This is at Georgia Tech. You can see over the city of Atlanta, we've got clouds. We have rain here in our area now, and at the airport. I've had a lot of people texting me, calling me, emailing me, messaging me on Facebook, asking about flight delays. We don't have any long-form weather delays right now at Hartsfield, but check with your individual flight, because some flights may be delaying or canceling some flights due to this impending weather coming in. But as of right now, we don't have any organized weather delays going on at Hartsfield-Jackson. Here's a look at the severe weather threat. Now remember, I told you that trajectory coming up from the Panhandle, going through the Atlanta area. It's on that right-hand side or east of the center where we see that better chance for some stronger storms. So from the metro area over, well, let's say pretty much along the I-85 corridor here. Along the I-85 corridor, eastward is where there is a level 1 risk, level 2 risk over toward Augusta, and then a level 3 risk over a little bit closer to the coast. And then going into tomorrow, that severe weather threat shifts well up to the north. We won't even see a potential for severe weather here. Again, that's after the early morning hours. Another alert that I want you to be aware of, you see the red, that is the hurricane warning. Interesting note about this is that yesterday, that was pretty much from Columbus to Macon. They've added a few more counties. Upson County, you're in this tropical storm, actually hurricane warning now. We also have Pike or Lamar County as well as Monroe County. You are included in that hurricane warning. The rest of us are in a tropical storm warning over North Georgia and also into the metro Atlanta area. So this is saying, and we are preparing for these tropical storm force winds. Here's the track. There's that landfall later on this evening. There are the remnants, the tropical storm moving through Atlanta. Then it fades out as it moves up into parts of Tennessee and Kentucky and then just kind of wavers up there and then moves on out. We will have more updates for you. We're going to do a quick cut in on 11 Alive. Stand by, because after I do that, we'll be back with more wall-to-wall coverage here on all of our streaming apps.